it really needs to be implemented into the curriculum, because it's not properly, and it's something I keep pushing with the Welsh Government, and so many people are, and I think they're coming around to listening. They definitely are. We've just got to keep pushing them, because until it's actually stuck in the curriculum, there's not a lot we can do about it. And when it's got its place, then we can build on it and say, right, these are the points we need to cover, and it's really important that we do.
So tell me more about your campaigning with the Welsh Government. So you're based in Wales, and for people who are our listeners who aren't in the UK, different countries in the UK have different education systems. So there's England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So tell me about what you're doing in terms of campaigning with the Welsh Government, or to the Welsh Government.
In terms of education, or in general? So with education, I've seen a lot of the ministers with the Welsh Government since I've started the campaign, and local MPs and assembly members and things like that, about various different things. But every time I'm there, I kind of bring in the comment, oh, well, we need to bring in the education about this. I've come along across a group, and I know they've got a petition. I think it's on change.org. I can't remember the name exactly, who are trying to get it into the curriculum. And I know there was talk saying, right, by 2022, menstruation education is going to be a thing. I love that, menstruation education. It's brilliant words. So it's really, I'm still trying to work out with my team whether we can start a full-blown petitioning campaign on the side with it, because I think it needs to be done. What I'm doing at the moment is I'm in the experimenting stage by doing it myself in my own school, like I said. So we've been sent by Always these packs, and they're Be Like a Girl packs, and they've got pads and tampons inside, and then, like I said, they've got the leaflets with all the information you possibly need to know. So we're going to do these assemblies, and I'm going to hand out this education, because I've done that in primary schools across Cardiff, and we're going to see how that goes. And if it goes well, I'm going to take the evidence. I'm going to say, right, this is how it worked. This is the feedback I've had. These are my suggestions, to say, well, I've basically done half the work for you. Now I need you to implement it. So at the moment, I'm doing more of the practical side, because, of course, there are a lot of petitions. There are a lot of campaigners. So I'm trying to go a different way about it to try and prove the point that it is needed, and get the feedback of girls aged 11 to 18 saying that, yes, I think this needs to be implemented within education, and I need to be taught about this. So yeah, definitely at the practical stage at the moment, and then hoping to really take it back to the Welsh Government again then, and present them with my findings.
So you're doing that, and you also have your other campaign, which is about removing plastic from menstrual products. So you're very busy, and you go to school. You're 17. Are you doing your A-levels?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So tell me how you started looking into the plastic and menstrual products. So tell me about that campaign.
So when I was having my bad period cramps, before I went to the doctors, because of course if you book an appointment, it takes about 6 weeks until you can get one. So during that time, I was trying to actively research myself what the issue could be. So I spoke to lots of different people, and I went back to people that I'd spoken to before, and had a great phone call with the founder of Luxstore Organic, an organic cotton sanitary product company based in London, a husband and wife. They're really lovely. And they spoke to me and said, right, so what products do you use? And I was like, oh, well, the cheapest ones I can find in the shop. So I got them out, and she said, well, do they have ingredients on? I said, no. And she went, so how do you know what's in them? I said, I don't know. So she spoke to me and said, well, try and look into what's in them, maybe because that's because I was always having allergic reactions to products as well. And they were really bad, and they were making me really uncomfortable and sore. And it was just a really uncomfortable time, possibly one of the worst places you could have an allergic reaction to something. And I So I was looking into this research and found that I couldn't find these ingredients anywhere, no matter how deeply I looked. All I found was that it may contain rayon, and that was it. Couldn't find anything else. So I went back to the woman and then spoke to Hey Girls UK as well, and back to Time of the Month, and then approached lots of different organic cotton companies globally. I even spoke to one from Australia and said, so what is it about this organic cotton that makes it different? And everyone was explaining, right, so we don't have plastic in our products. And I was like, well, what do you mean plastic? And they said, well, your pad is 90% plastic. And that was something I was completely shocked. I didn't know. So one of the companies, Lex, said, right, we'll send you 2 of our boxes, try them out, tell us what you think. So they sent them to me and I tried them. My rash completely cleared up. My stomach cramps, they weren't gone, but were very slightly better. And then, of course, looking into these products, I saw they had ingredients on the back. There weren't all this plastic in. There wasn't all this plastic in. They clearly saw what I was using and what was being absorbed into my body. So then as I used these products more and more, my allergic reaction completely cleared up, and now I don't have one at all. And alongside the medication that I was on, I've been able to almost completely eradicate my period pain. So I used the same with my sister, who was also having allergic reactions, and her rash was completely cleared up as well. So then, of course, I recommended to other people, and 100% I've had the same feedback from them. Of course, it won't be the same for everyone, but from the people that I've recommended it to and have tried it, or reusable period pads and pants or menstrual cups, have all said, I'm not having the allergic reaction I've had before. So I was thinking, why aren't these companies telling us that they're full of these chemicals or plastics if they are potentially harmful and clearly harmful to our body? So I was aiming towards you need to tell us the ingredients so we can make an informed decision, because there are lots of campaigners. One amazing one in Cardiff is Ella, and she does the End Period Plastic campaign, which is huge now. And she's really fighting for that, and she meets with the companies themselves, properly campaigning, and she's an inspiration in this campaign, definitely, in all the work that I do. So we're looking at we want you to tell us the ingredients, and we want it to be a legal requirement that these ingredients are on the packaging, because we have every right to know what is in these products so we can make our own informed decisions about what we are using and work out what's possibly making such an issue for our bodies. Because, we use shampoo and conditioner and everything, they've all got the ingredients on. And sometimes if we're looking for ingredients that we don't want to use for our bodies or for our scalp, we don't use them. So why should it be the same for such an intimate area of our body?
Amazing. What you're doing is so amazing. And, certainly I see it in my practice where as soon as the women that I work with, they change the menstrual products that they're using, whether they switch to organic tampons or they make a switch to a different type of menstrual pad, they see a change in their period, generally their period pain, and they see other benefits. So the campaign is primarily about that menstrual product manufacturers need to show the ingredients in their product. So transparency, and which is super, super important. And so have you spoken to any of these kind of big menstrual product manufacturers?
At the moment, I'm aiming to get 10,000 signatures on my petition. Unfortunately, I became ill just after the summer holidays. So I had to kind of put it on pause, but now I've picked it back up again as I've finally gotten everything back on track with the campaign. And I'm really pushing now. On paper and online, we've got over 2,000, and we got that really quickly in like a month. So I'm going to push for that again and get even more, which I know we will. And I've emailed, and the best way to get through to these people sometimes is messaging them on social media because they reply easier. So I've spoken to Lilette's and Always, and I've said, why aren't these ingredients on your packaging? And the most interesting response I had was that of Bodyform UK, who came back and said, hi Molly, I did it off my personal account so they wouldn't make an association with regular periods, and said, unfortunately, we do not have enough room on our product packaging to be able to list the ingredients. And I was thinking, how many ingredients do you have to not be able to fit them on that packaging? So it was it was crazy. So I've done that much. And then when I've got the petition, I will be booking in meetings and all sorts. I'll be going all the way. I'm not going to be dropping this one until it's properly set in place.
What's really interesting is that you think that they would have started to respond to this because there are so many new companies coming up in this kind of menstrual health femtech space. So you've got, the brands that you've mentioned. You've got the likes of like Ona, Dame, Day, who are all really proudly talking about no plastic, organic cotton. You've got all the different menstrual cup companies, period underwear. So you think that, these companies would respond because they're losing sales from people switching from, always using Tampax or Bodyful to these other products. So I think the work that you're doing is absolutely amazing. So how has all the campaigning that you've done and all the educating that you've done changed your relationship with your period?
So I found that I've learned an awful lot about my period, my whole body, through the work that I've done, whether it be learning about periods themselves in the first place, learning about other people's periods, finding about other people's experiences. I feel also as well, the thing that's really made a difference in my life is I've learned the proper ways to cope and manage with my period. So yes, I did have to have intervention when it came to the pain I was having because I couldn't function normally with it. However, I've able to find ways that I've almost been able to work with my period instead of against it, which is something I would have laughed at about a year ago. And I remember seeing this sometimes and it makes me laugh. And I think, how does that work? I don't understand. But now I do understand. I've learnt the right ways. So I increase my the right food. So I make sure I stick spinach in every meal when I'm on my period, and I have I sit in dark chocolate in the evening, and I find that really actually helps my energy levels. And changing my products using different oils and things and essential oils in order to keep me calm in mood swings, and also with any discomfort I do get. I found that I've managed to finally find a way that works for me after so long of trying to find something that helps. Through recommending and hearing so many different suggestions of how people cope with theirs, I've finally found my personalised way to work with my period. And now, whereas before it was a burden, I really couldn't have hated it more. I've now managed to love it, hence the campaign, because now that I found the right way to work with it, it works and it makes sense because it's your body. It's part of you. You need to work with your body. So it makes sense that by working with it, things will become a lot easier. So I think I have the campaign definitely to thank for that. I've finally found a way to live life normally and be thankful for my period and realize that it's a gift.
So having said all of that, working with your period, seeing it as a gift, loving your period now, what would you say to a girl who, so someone similar to you who got her period and knowing what you know now, what would you say to her about her period?
Keep going with it. Of course you have to. Just keep trying all the different alternatives you can. Don't give up on it. Don't let your period take a week of your life away from you. So many of us for so long go, oh, that's it. I've started this week. I don't care. I'm going to be self-destructive. I'm going to eat everything I want. I'm not going to do any work. I did that so long. My excuse for not studying was I'm on my period this week. I kid you not. I did not study for a week, and that was my excuse because I just didn't. The discomfort of sitting there for so long, and you felt like you could feel you're on your period, and I just let the mood swings without doing anything of them really control my life almost. So really, you've just got to try and find the best way that you can to